This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I see where the World Bank warns of global recession in 2023. Thanks, man. Thanks for the info and the insight on something we already knew that was either happening right now and going into next year. Wow, that's genius. Anyway, welcome aboard. How are you doing, Anthony? Good afternoon, sir.
I warn of heat injury issues.
Yes,
That's what I warn about.
Yeah, you're gonna give us a lot of warning.
That's my bold prediction. Yeah.
Although we got good news with Bam, right? Because the MRI was negative.
Yeah, negative. It's a wrist contusion. He's out tonight. I'm assuming he'll probably miss at least multiple games, right? I mean, he couldn't even shoot the ball last game. He said the pain was excruciating. So I would imagine he missed at least a couple games, but it's better than, I guess, the other possible outcome of broken wrist or broken hand. That would have been
definitely. Now a jam
scenario.
wrist, if that's what he has, like a jam, that shit lasts a while.
Yeah,
okay?
And it's a shooting wrist, so imagine,
shooting wrist. It's very sensitive, and as I've told Ira and I told you last year, while I love Bam, I called him a super role player. And what did I tell you last year? As I told you, I said in today's NBA, if you can't force your offensive will on teams, then you cannot be a superstar. Those days of Rodman and Ben Wallace and all that shit back in the 90s, he could have been that. But guess what happened this year? Guess what's happened over the last couple of weeks with Bam Adebayo? He has imposed his offensive will on the league, and he has really become now a franchise player because he's aggressive offensively. And now he jams his wrist. This sucks, man.
This season has been constant. Just when it looks like they're getting healthier, somebody else goes down or two starters go down. It's getting to the point where you're waiting for the Heat to make some type of run to like avoid the play-in territory, right? But if they're out without four starters, without multiple starters for multiple games, like I just don't know what they can do.
Bam, you can't.
And with Bam has been their most irreplaceable player, right? Jimmy is probably still their best player, but Bam is irreplaceable what he does on both ends. And then the drop-off between him and the other centers on the roster, you just can't make up what he does and what he means to this team. So
25 points a night or whatever, you're not going to make up for that every night. That's just impossible, bro. Obviously, the rebounds and everything else.
Yeah, and he's at the center. He's at the center of what they do defensively. Their whole scheme is built around him and what he can do, switching and all that. And for better or worse, like that's kind of what their defense is built around. So without him, everything changes. It's just tough.
I mean, when you have Jimmy and Butler and Bam playing well, and even Tyler, you're still not a great team. You need other people. And the problem is, brother, you got all these injuries, and then now your main guys also, and Jimmy takes half the season off. It's really tough this year for the Miami Heat to kind of get out of this rut right now. And, again, another guy, I thought, what Tyler's doing, it's fantastic too. That's another kid that really has, and here he is also, dealing with what is an Achilles soreness or something.
Achilles soreness. He slipped on a wet spot at the end of the game, and we talked to him after the game. He said he was fine, but obviously he was feeling sore the next morning, and he's out tonight. And Achilles, that's always scary, right? If it's just soreness, hopefully he won't have to miss too much time, but you don't mess with the Achilles.
No, you can.
Just not good news for the Heat right now. Definitely not.
Yeah, no, and you're talking about a team now that's just one game over 500, and I know the Thunder aren't very good, but today with all these injuries, I mean, how many guys are they going to miss tonight? Bam,
we're missing
Tyler,
at least 7 games. I mean, at least 7 guys. And
Duncan's
that doesn't
out.
include Duncan's out, Jovic is out, Yurtseven is out, and then the 4 starters.
Right.
Jimmy's the only starter available. You're looking at a starting lineup of Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Jimmy Butler, Hayward Highsmith, and probably Orlando Robinson. And then a bench of Udonis Haslem, Dwayne Dedman, Victor Oladipo, and Jamal Cain.
Do they call somebody up for this game?
They can't. I mean, they
guess
they could sign a guy. They're 2 two-way guys already up with them.
No, not the two-way guys. I'm talking about any of the other guys just for depth purposes. Do you bring up a guy or two that No, you have
I
you won't
think
know that
because
until later on.
well, I'd be surprised only because there's the luxury tax, right? We've talked about it. I know you've talked
Oh
about Ira
God.
many times. Like they can do the 10-day contract, right, at this point, and that won't put them over the tax, but that only moves you even closer. So then you have to wait even longer until the season to sign a guy. It just sets everything back. So I would imagine that they hope this is a one-game thing and they can get at least a couple guys back next game, and they'll have maybe 11 guys instead of 9, and just try to survive tonight with 9.
You know, when I hear a billionaire penny pinching, it kind of gives me a migraine. You understand that, right? Like
I understand.
seriously.
No,
Seriously, I'm like,
I understand.
and the Arison family is awesome. I get it; they're great business people. This whole hookup about a luxury tax, bro.
Yeah,
Come on, give me a break.
yeah. The
Oh,
thing, yeah,
and we keep
it's
waiting for the star that never arrives on that trade that you're waiting to. Okay, we'll go over the luxury tax for that star, but
mhm,
meanwhile, your coach and your front office are going through hell right now. And certain decisions that you've made too don't help keeping. Again, we all love UD, but brother, that position should be for somebody that can really contribute
right.
every single night if you need it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And just and then you're also going with a roster that is one less
one
on top
less.
of
Yeah,
all of that, which then
yeah,
that's two positions now. So that's 3 overall that are pretty much useless to you. That you just can't do that to your coaching staff, dude. It's
yeah.
just not fair. Really
And
is.
with that, with all those factors, this is like everything that the Heat didn't want to happen. When you're going into a season with one less and Udonis Haslem on the roster, has happened. They've missed the second most games this season because of injury, only second to the Orlando Magic. Injury issues throughout the year, and to star players. I mean, Jimmy, like you said, has missed double-digit games, I believe. Bam Adebayo is missing his fourth or fifth game this season. Tyler's missing his ninth, 10th game this season. It's just their preferred starting lineup. The starting five has played in 14 games together. They have played, and the team is playing their 42nd game of the season tonight. Their starting five has played 14 games together. That's a
Wait a
third
minute.
of the
Wait
season.
a minute. Wait a minute. I think I found the problem here. Let's throw somebody else under the bus that's
Yeah,
no longer here in town. This is a Kobe Price thing because he was here and then he's in
the Magic.
Orlando. You
Yeah,
said those are
yeah,
the two teams that have all the injury.
yeah.
What's going on with Kobe?
Whatever,
What are you
whatever,
doing?
whatever teams he touches, that's the problem. Yeah,
What is going on with Kobe Price? The hell
I
is
don't
going
know.
on? Come on, Kobe.
We
You
have
go
to
to
get him on here and ask
Orlando,
him.
they're all breaking down. You leave
Yeah,
Miami, they're all broken down.
yeah.
Come on, it's the Kobe Price disease. What's going on here? By the way,
It's
he does
tough.
an excellent job covering the Magic.
He does. Kobe's great. He's a
Yeah,
good
he
friend
does a
too.
really good job. You can tell when I watch him cover all the different sports he's covered, you can tell that he really loves to cover basketball.
Oh, he loves basketball.
Yeah, no, you can
Yeah,
tell.
when he
You
used to
see it,
fill in with Ira at the Sun Sentinel, I go on
Yeah.
a few road trips with him, and he
Yeah,
you could
it's
tell
like
he just loved
when I watch
basketball.
Sean talk wrestling, I see it in
Yeah,
his face. His
yeah,
face freaking lights up. And that's why I always try to encourage him to, do his wrestling thing because he's
yeah,
he's good at it. He knows his stuff. And when you're passionate and you love what you do, it comes through. And you can
for sure.
tell when Kobe's covering basketball, like, because he doesn't really like. I don't give a shit about the Magic,
Yeah,
but only because I know Kobe and gotten to know him a little bit. That's the only reason why I follow the Magic,
yeah,
thanks to Kobe. And he does a
yeah,
really good job. He's all over the place with it, man. I
yeah.
give him a lot of credit overall. This is an ugly game. Well, you know what?
Sure.
Before I get into that game, the 2-minute report, that was weak sauce, bro. And don't tell me he jumped up straight. He jumped forward.
His
Okay.
arms were a little bit out like that too. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, exactly. And here's the other thing. I blame some on Jimmy. You know why? The possession before he missed that bunny in the lane.
little mid-range jumper in the paint. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So it's like, yeah, you're right. And a lot of times, even with contact, he's the best player on the court for the Heat. He can score that basket a lot of times because he plays through contact. He's so good at that.
mhm.
It's free. He might be the best player ever in Heat history to play through contact. Now that I
LeBron
think,
was LeBron
huh?
was
Well,
LeBron.
yeah, but he's like a freaking
Yeah,
Mac truck.
no,
It's
that's true. Yeah,
yeah, it's like it's like Shaq.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So
like
everyone except LeBron and Shaq. Jimmy's
right, yeah, those
probably the
guys are
best.
just freaks
Yeah,
and everything.
other
You know what I'm saying?
class. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not impressive that you're barreling through people because look at you.
Sure.
But when I
Yeah.
see Jimmy do it, and one of the things I love about Jimmy is his hands.
Hmm.
He has these human vice grips on the basketball, and you don't knock it out of his hands when he goes up to and he'll get his shot off. So I get it. But I mentioned it even on my tweet. I say, hey, look, man, he missed the bunny before. So, but come on, man, that was a foul. They didn't want to decide the game. Clearly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it was a foul. I don't think it was like 100% clear. It was a close call, right? It was a bang bang play. Royce O'Neal made a nice play on, challenging him at the rim, rotating from the weak side. But it did look like he jumped into Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
And there have been other calls made where there's less contact. So,
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Here's where reputation sets the stage. What's Royce O'Neal known for?
Defense.
What's Jimmy Butler known for? Driving to the paint, right?
Driving to the paint, getting fouls too, getting into the free throw line. Yeah.
Right. But because of the contact, it's kind of normal for those two. So you know who Royce is, you know who Jimmy is, let him play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of also because it's in the referee's mind that, okay, these are the style. This is how these two play. Let them go at it.
Let him go. Yeah, right. We don't want to decide the game.
It's close enough that, yeah, he might have, but you know what? Jimmy normally scores in this. This is how this other kid plays.
Yeah.
I'm going to let it go. I'm going to step away from it because that's their nature. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think that kind of also hurts the situation for Jimmy, but it's what it's actually looked at overall, I think subconsciously, for the referee.
Yeah. Yeah. And you honestly could not have asked for a better shot at that spot. 3 seconds left, inbounds play. I mean, it was a perfect play. You get Jimmy at the rim with a chance to win the game. The Heat should have won that game. Even before that, every time, 9 out of 10 times he scores that. And even before that play, I mean, just the freak offensive rebound where the bodies are flying everywhere. It falls in Royce O'Neal's hands, and he just right open at the rim for the putback.
Right.
Just kind of like,
by the way, just an
bad
absolute terrible decision by Kyrie Irving. I mean,
yeah, the pull up for that three, right? It worked out, but it was a bad. It's it's funny because terrible decision by Kyrie to put up that 30-foot three at that point, and then great look for the Heat on the other end.
Yeah.
At the rim, and it didn't work out. It's just sometimes
Jimmy jukes his initial defender, and he's got the beautiful lane to it. I'll take that play not 9 out of 10, 99 out of 100.
Yeah.
That play happens for Jimmy. But
you know what, Big O, though, and I've been saying this all season, all the Heat plays is close games, right? They lead the league in clutch games. That is not a terrible thing, but it's not good because a lot of times those games are decided by luck. Look at this last game tonight. That's what happened. That's the danger of playing all these close games where you could lose a game with a freak offensive rebound that just falls into a guy's hands because you put yourself in that position. Last year, the Heat had 31 double-digit wins, I think. This year, they're on pace for 10. They just can't pull away from teams, and a lot of times it's going to be decided in the final seconds on one play. And that's what happened against the Nets.
Whatever the stats tell you, to me, it's kind of deceiving. This is not really a great defensive team. They have a couple of players that can play defense, but it's not really a great defensive team. And then on the flip side, you're not offensively explosive enough.
Right.
So then there's a combination there that's really kind of tough to balance. That's why I think you find yourself in all those tight games because you don't have enough to really shut people down or you don't really have enough to blow people out.
Yeah.
And so then it puts you into a battle every single night. And then that's where it just becomes difficult because there isn't enough explosiveness in this offense.
Yeah. No, I agree. And look, the offense has been among the league's worst the entire season. I think it's like 6th worst right now. It's just they're not a good offensive team, and that's part of the reason why they can't pull away from teams. But also, your point is not wrong. Like they're ranked number 9 in defense, which is good. It's above average.
Yeah.
But you look at the other numbers, man-to-man defense, 4th worst in the NBA.
I know.
Their zone has carried their defense. Also, they're among the NBA's best at forcing turnovers, which is their strength on defense. You take away possessions where they don't force a turnover and just like shot attempts and free throw attempts, they're 20th. So that's how much they rely on turnovers. When they don't force a turnover, they're not a good defensive team. So yes, they're above average on defense. Their defense is better than their
It's
offense for
deceiving.
sure.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit deceiving because they're not the elite defensive team they were last season.
No. Or
No.
what they've been traditionally.
Yeah.
It's not really the Heat defense that. Now, let's be honest. The league doesn't play like traditionally the defenses used to play either. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like it's almost like your defense in today's NBA has to know how to get key stops.
Just survive. Yeah, just
Yeah.
survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what it is, key stops.
But when your offense is not good,
Ooh.
you need your defense to win games. And that's the issue. You know, their offense on most nights is just not good enough to carry them. They need their defense to be very, very good to win games against good teams.
What do you think about tonight? Because they're not playing a good team, but man, they're so injury riddled.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're playing. You're missing 4 starters. Like that's tough. And OKC's been playing better, and their net rating is actually better than the Heat's this season, which is kind of crazy. They're not a terrible team. So you're missing 4 starters against a team that's playing better. They're probably playing better than their record says right now. They have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's great offensive player, can get into the paint at will. They have good young talent. So, yes, the Heat are at home. They still have Jimmy Butler. But you're missing 4 starters against a team that's not bad. It's going to be tough. I honestly, I think the Thunder probably should win this game. But I don't rule the Heat out because of Jimmy and they're at home.
I'm with you there. All right. Follow on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang. And of course, catch his work there at the Miami Herald, getting it done as always, covering the Miami Heat. Subscribe to the Miami Herald so you can support people like Anthony and Michelle Kaufman, who was just on with us just a couple of minutes ago. Anthony, appreciate you, my brother. Enjoy the game tonight. And I don't know, bro. Pray for them because they need it's like the Heat, the Dolphins. My God, the amount of injuries that these teams suffered here has just set them back. So hang in there, brother. Interesting season.
Yep. Thanks, Big O. Anytime.
You got it.
See you soon.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Anthony Chiang from the Miami Herald giving us a little Heat insight.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.